Were you
Let's
expecting
go,
chosen with the honk this time?
dude. Dude, yeah,
You still remember that?
yeah, man,
What's
that
up,
was crazy. That
everybody?
was crazy.
Welcome back to Cobra Kai Nation. I am so honored to have Bo Mitchell return, who you know as Brucks from Cobra Kai's season 1, 3, and 6. It's so great to have you back here, Brucks. I mean, Bo, ain't called you Brucks. Well, you are Brucks.
Yeah,
But
Bo,
yeah,
Brucks,
great to have you
bro,
back.
whatever middle ground you find yourself in. Yeah, yeah.
It's honestly so good to see you return. I mean, when I first saw your return, I knew fans were gonna love it, especially the scenes you had. You like slamming that guy on the table, and Dimitri and Eli finding out you're going to MIT, and you're just like you're cool with Hawk. I loved it. So let's go straight into it. You
Yeah.
have been in 3 really important seasons of Cobra Kai. I think season 1, the first season, and then season 3, which was the big one that moved the show to Netflix, and then we haven't seen you for a while, and now you return for the big final season. How's that been for you to finally come back?
Yeah, man, it's it's great. It's great. One thing that is awesome about the in general in the industry, the good shows, it's a family vibe, and Cobra Kai is obviously one of the best shows ever, right? And if not the best, but it's such an amazing group of people, man. Like everybody has been there kind of from the beginning. They did an amazing job of keeping people, even down to the crew members, working on every season. So you just get this big reunion. Like I come in every other season and 1, 3, and 6, and it's really funny because I'm seeing people from season 1, season 3, and it's just like, oh, dude, it's like a little high school reunion or some little family reunion. It's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's one of the coolest parts, honestly. But yeah, it's always fun to get in the mix as well, like doing that character and just being a part of the franchise and stuff. Man, I'm stoked on it. I'm personally stoked on it. So it's always cool to be there. And I mean, yeah, man. Hey, Brucks got to have a little shine this time. He was a good guy, kind of for once. So it was cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
uh, and to touch on that specifically with Brucks getting a shine, I think that was so well done. I absolutely loved, the story they gave you with being at MIT. This guy being really smart is actually funny because I think in season 1, obviously people see Kyle and Brucks as just these guys that are bullying Miguel, Hawk, and Dimitri, and you know it's cliched, but the way they've layered your characters, like Kyle and Brucks, I mean, like I absolutely love that growth. And how did it make you feel, like knowing your characters, even your role in this is you're around every other season, like you said, but like just to even have that development for someone like Brucks, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's always cool when the writers and directors and the creators are taking care of characters. A lot of times, they can be a show can just forget about a character, and it kind of leaves
Right.
these little loopholes in the greater universe, of the franchise or the story. So it's really cool to see that it is the arc is very clear, even if the character's not there, right? Like from the beginning, from the first season, there was a bit of like a underlying theme of a joke that Brooks is like kind of got some smarts, like he was good at English, and then it just makes its way to the final season as like a kind of is an inside joke now to people who pay attention, where it's like he's in MIT, like, oh, maybe he could be in MIT. It's funny, man. I love that type of care when it comes to the storyline. So yeah, man, it's been super cool to witness that, and then throughout all the characters, and really what they're doing with the original players from the movies. It's so cool. It's a truly truly an art what they're doing with the storylines and keeping everything put together so well.
Right, and I think that's just a testament to everybody, like you said, that works on the show. Like you said, that family vibe you were saying just before we went live, and I love the fact that, you know, they care about every single character they put in this. You know, they don't single out any
Yeah,
character. I feel like they give everyone gets a shine, and you know, like Brucks. I mean, yeah, the whole MIT thing, like Dimitri going, "Huh?"
yeah,
Like that was funny, but massive respect to Brucks. I mean, he's a smart dude, and I love the whole, you know, the quote that he says to Eli when, you know, he says, "Win karate prizes," and then like, you know,
oh
it's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
Eli's face. He's like so surprised that you were just so chill about it. I mean, the quote's actually
yeah.
quite a good one. Is it? What ad? It's like Latin,
Oh,
isn't it,
Ad
or something?
Meliora, I think.
Ad meliora. That's
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
actually quite remember what it meant. I remember the word. Yeah, yeah. The no, I think it's like bigger, owner bigger and better things, maybe something like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. It was
Yeah.
cool. It was cool, man. Yeah, it was good to see. You know, there's some yeah, there's some positivity there. What you think too, like um, you know, Brooks is a little. I think Brooks is a little older, right? Because he's already, you know, kind of in college. They always played him and Kyler as maybe like a year older than, you know, or just a little bit older. So it's like cool to see that, you know, he's maturing. You know, we always joke as well that maybe Brooks was even just held back a year, so Brooks might have actually been, you know, 20 as a college freshman, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
it brings out some maturity though. So yeah, it was cool, man, and it was fun to, again, just for me to play the character in that space as well, like getting to be kind of chill about stuff because you always see Brooks really high strung and you think, well, what is this guy like in his day to day life? And I think that's kind of how he acts, you know, when he's not in some of those higher energy moments. So it was cool to get to bring that in.
Right. And I think just to see Brooks in like a different way, and also like just it's for me like being I mean for you as well, seeing the journey of the show and just seeing where it was in season one and like how Brooks interacted with the likes of, you know, Miguel, Dimitri, and Eli is so different now. And I just love the fact like you guys like have this moment in the college frat where you all like fight together, and I thought that was really funny. Like I don't think anyone would have expected
Yeah.
that in season one. I just see everybody in the stream going, "Get Brucks!" Like everybody just saying it. That's hilarious. Let's go.
Yes. Yes, that is
But
awesome.
I will say this: like working, I mean, for you working with Cholo, Jacob, Johnny, and Joe on that college frat scene with the fights, like how was that for you? And being able to work with some of the boys like in a way that you hadn't before.
Yeah, hey, it was awesome. You know, something I kind of always like, you know, just me as a fan of the show myself, always kind of wanted to see as well and be a part of, man. And again, just really kudos to, you know, to the writers and the creators because they have a huge team, you know, working hard on this to really give everyone that moment, you know, because it makes you kind of feel something. You're kind of like, oh, that was like special. It was not just another fight scene. Not that any of them ever feel like that, but that can happen in a show, right? You could be like, oh, they just got people fighting over here just to keep the adrenaline going, you know, like and no, it felt really really cool to be a part of that character development too for you know the main players like Hawk and Miguel and Dimitri, and then also being in that mix, kind of actually getting to do a larger stunt scene as well, because that stunt scene is pretty crazy, and I've watched it
It-
back. Yeah, I think they cut a little bit out, which was totally fine, you know. But it's like
oh, okay.
one of those things where it's like I remember doing this stunt scene, and it was like a huge, it was like a dance party, you know. A lot of the stunts, they're very choreographed, but this
Right.
one was like 12, 15 people, and when we got in the space doing it in there because it was a tiny little uh, basement. It really was like a little space. I remember we all had to kind of adjust because we were like, okay, well, we were doing it in a large gym practicing, and we all had tons of space to swing our arms around and stuff. And we're like, oh, now we have to actually be very careful because I'm punching a
Yeah.
guy here, but then also a guy's getting kicked behind me. So if I step back,
Right.
I
Yeah.
might get kicked, and so, but when all that comes together, it's super, super, super satisfying, man. And I'm glad it translated on screen. It was great. It was a great time, man.
So was that the bit that was cut out, was that a moment where Brucks was, because I know he's sort of on his own for a moment, because we see him at the start of the fight and then we have the focus on the other guys, and then obviously everyone's like, where's Brucks? So was that the bit before he slams the guy on the table? Because that's like, that would have been cool to see like a little bit more with Brucks in that moment, because then it kind of explains where he was.
Yeah, yeah. I think, well, even then, I think there was kind of a gap. I think they wanted to put there was just so much going on. They wanted to give it time for Brucks to make his way around,
Right. Yeah.
to kind of prepare for that. So no, I don't. I think it wasn't really that much that was cut out. It was more just like giving him some time to kind of almost be forgotten about for a second. They wanted to. Oh shoot. Well, I guess I'm losing light over here. I'm in a
Oh, damn.
I'm in a little cafe. Can you see me, dude? Can you,
Yeah, no, no, no. I
dude,
can still
sorry
see
about
you. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, no worries.
I'll see
I
if
was gonna
he's
say
coming
that's
back on
kind of
in a
like,
minute.
it's kind of like the fight was about to begin again.
Dude, yeah, this is crazy. But yeah, the wildest thing was like you know, when we were setting up for that, I think dude, this is so funny. The wildest thing was like when we were setting up for that, the guy, we had to throw him in, and so to the table obviously. And what they did, what we did to kind of prep for that was really cool, and I was really stoked they actually let me throw him myself, right? Because I've always
Oh, I
been
love that.
really, really, yeah, I've been really always been really stoked to the stunt work. And so, like, yeah, it was just a really cool experience. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm actually getting to like um you know be a part of this scene, right? And not just step out and let the other guys take over, and then to be trusted to actually throw the guy and do it. And so, yeah, but yeah, all in all, man, really, it was really, yeah, it was just really cool to kind of be given that moment as well, man. Yeah.
For sure. And I think that was probably one of the highlights of the whole thing. And I love the editing on it. It was very
Yeah.
WWE, like the way they like
Yeah, it
cut to it in
was.
different angles. And it was just like, yeah, Brooks. Like you must have had so much fun like saying that line and just doing
Dude,
that scene.
yeah.
Was that line like always the intention, or did you like improv that maybe? Or
No, that was kind of that was written in there. We really didn't, I didn't have that one improv. That was like given, which was sick because it
yeah.
was super cool to like just you know just as an actor playing the character to get like given um basically like a catchphrase, and like I don't know, I just thought that was so cool. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm actually playing a character who's got a catchphrase and is like, throwing this guy into a table and getting this like, yeah, I love WWE, so I'm like fully getting like a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment. So dude,
I
yeah,
felt
it was
that. I felt that
yeah,
energy.
dude, yeah, it was so sick, dude. So yeah, just personally I was stoked on it, but yeah, no, I think they were just playing into like his attitude, I think Brooks would totally give himself a catchphrase, so they were just playing into that, and yeah,
Yeah,
dude, so
yeah.
funny.
He gives me that energy. Like I can see him totally. Honestly, like with his story, I could have totally seen him like being like a headline like wrestler, and like maybe Kyler's like, "Yo, let's go
Yeah,
see Brooks like wrestle, man." And like,
dude. Yeah, dude, it
that'd
could
be
have
pretty cool.
happened. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that would have been hilarious. I think that totally could have happened too. He's definitely got. That's I think one thing that I've always tried to explain is like for him the bullying's obviously not nice and wrong, and but it's like
Hmm.
for him it's always been this weird misconception of that everybody's having fun, and like for him it's
Yeah,
like this kind of more lighthearted take on like this is just funny, and so that's kind of the way I tried to bring it into the character, and it's similar to that. It's like wrestling, that type of energy where it's like, yeah, these guys are slamming each other into tables, but like they're all screaming and like everybody's loving it and whatever, so so that type of vibe definitely matches his mo.
Right. I mean, I could definitely see Brucks being one of the most fun people to have a night out with, you know. And if there is any like bar fights or whatever, you got that backup, man. You got Brucks having your
Yeah,
back, so you know that'd be so
dude.
fun.
For sure, yeah. Even dude, even in that scene, it was like it's a similar situation. It's just a not far from a bar fight type of scenario, and it was like
Right.
really, yeah, really fun to be. I really like it when you kind of have the characters treated like Brooks was treated in that scene. Personally, he pops back out with the beer funnel hat on, and it's like if you look in the back, it was taking it off, getting ready to like jump into this thing because he was like ready to have some fun. Versus everybody else is just like, oh my god, we're about to get our butts kicked
Yeah.
by like a fraternity, but he was just like, let's go, and it's time to have fun. So yeah, super super good energy. I love that about him.
And it's to say about like what you think is the best thing about your character. What would you say is the best thing about Brucks, or what are the best things about him? Would you say?
Yeah, dude. It's tough. I think for him as like a person, right? I think it is. I think there's like that. There's like there's loyalty there, a lot of loyalty because he loves Kyler, and that's like his best friend, but also someone he kind of looks up to, right? So he's just extremely loyal dude, and even to the way that he handles like, hey, uh, I got my face smashed in by this dude, by this kid with the mohawk, and it's kind of it's really fine, works out. So that type of kind of lightheartedness, and yeah, just kind of that energy to like he kind of just enjoys life, like which is why he's having fun in the middle of a bar fight scenario. Those types of things are always stuff that stood out to me about him.
For sure, yeah. Okay, so some fun ones. I know a lot of fans always theorize in the Cobra Kai fandom how, certain characters, how would they go in a fight? How would they go with an interaction? If there's any character that maybe has been on your mind ever since, the start of the show, or even at this point with so many new characters coming into it, who would you like to see Brucks fight that he's never had a fight with?
Dude, that's a good question. I always thought that him and Stingray could have a good interaction. That would be kind of funny.
Oh,
You
I
know,
would
both
love
big guys, and
that.
they both have pretty interesting attitudes, and like personalities. And I think that would be interesting to see how that plays out for sure.
I could definitely see them like if because the thing is, Paul loves wrestling, right? And he's done some actual wrestling, and I feel like because of the way Brucks is and your passion with that, and his passion with wrestling and the Stingray
Yeah,
character, you guys could have your own little wrestling spin-off.
yeah, right. At this
Like,
point,
imagine that.
might as well.
Yeah. I think that would be an interesting one. I mean, a lot of fans in this fandom always say about you and Sean. Okea, who played Sean in season 3, and he returned in this season. Do you think Brooks would win in a fight with Sean? I mean, he's another brute type character. He throws his opponents around like they're rag dolls. So he's legit a brute like Brooks. So what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah, dude, that would be a great one. I don't know who would win though.
That'd be a
That would
tough one.
definitely that'd be tough, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm always taking it as like whatever fight scenario we do put Brooks in, he really only has the training we see him have up to this far, which is kind of just loose haymakers and wrestling moves like.
Yeah,
So I think Sean is way more trained. Honestly, he might take the W for sure, especially since they're both kind of similar in stature. So
for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, even playing the Cobra Kai game, because your characters are in it. Like they have like these different archetypes, and you both have the same one in terms of like the strength and like the movement. So in that sense, yeah, I would love to see that matchup though. in the show we see a plethora of senseis, right? And I always ask this question with all the cast: which sensei would you love to learn karate from if you were to actually learn karate for the first time? Who's gonna be your sensei?
Dude, that is tough. I mean, I don't even, dude, I don't even know, dude. That is so. There's so many good ones. I'm just gonna have to like.
Yeah, I mean
I,
Daniel, Johnny, Chosen, Silver, Crease. I mean, there's so
yeah,
many, absolutely so
yeah,
many.
dude. Honestly, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go with Johnny. I'm just like a fan of Cobra Kai. I think as a whole, you know. And I just think I'm just gonna have to go. I always too. I thought, dude, yeah. I remember Eagle Fang. Like I think that whole thing is just awesome. So yeah, I'd love to be kind of wrapped up in that, man. The whole.
I think it matches Brux's energy and his
Yeah,
vibe now.
yeah, totally,
He would
totally.
definitely fit Eagle Fang well, and Stingray with Eagle Fang, I think, would have been quite an interesting one.
Yeah,
I think with like these different dojos, like I guess it is. You got all the evolution with Cobra Kai. You've got Miyagi Do now and where it is, and Eagle Fang's kind of fizzled out, which is sad. But I think we kind of saw that happening. If you
yeah.
were to actually join a dojo, not as your character, but as yourself. So let's say you actually wanted to take up karate, and those three dojos stuck out. Okay, not Eagle Fang because we already know you're gonna pick that. But if it became between Miyagi Do and Cobra Kai, which dojo would you go to?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think, yeah, honestly, dude, I think me personally, I think I might end up in Miyagi Do. I've always been a fan of the wax on, wax off, the ideology. So, and it's way more chill. That's me personally, just saying, yeah, I don't want to be in like a concrete mixer running around or whatever, doing whatever
Yeah,
crazy training,
I don't think I'd
you know,
fancy that either.
or just like, yeah, or just be in the cigar filled room that is Grease's dojo, Grease's version of Cobra Kai. Yeah, it's not a. Yeah, I'd be down to be a Miyagi Do.
I feel like Miyagi Do does have the best place to train, and I do like the style Johnny brings with it. But the whole no mercy thing, like if you actually do that in the real world, you're gonna get in trouble, or you're gonna get someone in trouble. Um,
Yeah, or just like, yeah, get hurt. Ultimately, that's kind of the whole thing, right? Is this like that's like the epitome of the show at this point, is where someone is constantly taking it a little bit further than the last. So it's like, oh, you took it too far. Now we gotta, it's just like yeah, it's kind of the series of drama and stuff that ensues. But yeah, the whole no mercy thing is like is tough. It's tough for me to get behind. But
right.
it's cool. It's cool to see. Hey, sometimes they no mercy. Someone finishes someone off and screams, and you're like, oh wow, that was cool. So
Right. I mean, Brucks being on the receiving end of that as well with Hawk. I mean, that's
right,
not something anyone wants to be on the end of, but in a way,
yeah,
like to see growth in someone if they are very tough, I respect that. But then there's morals that you go over
hmm
in that sense. Was there any other involvement you had with season 6, or was that literally just that specific episode we saw Brucks?
yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot coming. I don't want to mess with the integrity of the story, but they do have a lot of great stuff planned for y'all this season. So just keep watching and hang on, wait for the wait for what's next, man. They got a lot of great stuff planned, and it's weird. It's weird too because you know I've already gotten some questions of like, oh, what do you think about some of these other things and stuff that's happening? And it's funny because we, especially the last few seasons, they've started to really try to protect the story. So now it's to the point where the actors
That's good.
are only getting, yeah, it's great, really truly, but we're only getting the scripts that we're that we're in, for this episodes we're in. So it's a good thing, you know. It helps us from, you know, trying not to kind of mess it up for the viewers accidentally as well. So it keeps it safe. But yeah, man, some cool stuff coming for sure. So
With Brucks, I would. How would you summarize this journey with the character? I mean, this is the final season, and this is probably the last we'll see of Brucks, unless you know there's a college spin-off with all the characters that are going to college, and we get to see Brucks. But yeah, how would you summarize this experience overall? And like you said, it was such a family dynamic when you've been working on this show.
yeah, man, dude. Honestly, yeah, just it was, you know, being a part of the whole thing as an actor is just super cool. It's always great to be a part of a project that has got a great fandom and that has got a great franchise, and that um, you know, yeah, ends up having an amazing like family dynamic on set, and is just so well produced, right, and created and distributed. Like really, it's just great as an actor to be on that and to be a part of something like that, right? And they just don't. This doesn't come along often, right? I mean, so yeah, just being a part of it. I mean, I remember when I was driving to. This was like back in season one. I was driving to Atlanta. You know, um, they they you know called me up, and I auditioned for Brucks like a week before we shot, and I like
Wow.
they called me back like a day later, and they're like, "Hey, you got the part. We need you in Atlanta next week." And I'm just like, "Oh, this is random." You know. And I also submitted like a horrible audition tape, which maybe it worked in my favor. But anytime I bomb an audition, it usually does well. So, but I remember just driving down there and just thinking, I was like, yeah, Karate Kid is like, you know, really cool. And it didn't set in that it was like a part of the franchise. Yeah, I was like, I've watched the movies, um, and I've always enjoyed them. And then getting down there, I was like, yeah, these are the actors. Like I'm like next to, you know, um, Billy and I'm, you know, just like in the mix, like getting my legs swept out from me, like, you know, sweep his leg, Johnny. You know, it's like I'm like, this is actually happening, you know. And so then it really kicked in. I was like, oh wow, this is just something really cool to be a part of. And then kind of the my fan side kind of kicked in, and I was like, oh dude, this is like so sick to be here, you know, and to get to watch
Mm.
these guys kind of work and do their thing, and just you know, be able to kind of like live out the, you know, the Karate Kid dream. I don't know, it was so cool. It was just sick for me. It was yeah, it was just an amazing experience. So I yeah, I don't know how I get lucky to like fall into a like a cult classic scenario like this. You know, it's really cool though to be a part of the story. So I'm stoked on it, man.
So to finalize this, what quote would you say is your most favorite for Brucks?
Dude, well, we got the new one, you know, get Brucks. Like, dude, that is so sick, dude. Like having a crazy punchline like that is just like Kevin catchphrase is just
Yeah.
so cool. Like I definitely you know, honestly, like getting when I was doing the line, is like just getting to scream it just made me kind of like I personally kind of not quite breaking character, but just made me smile, like authentically
Nah,
smiling.
yeah.
Like, you know, it was like so sick, dude. So, I mean, that's yeah, that one's got to be it. Maybe it's just because it's new, you know, newly found. I mean, I think one of my other ones is the one you got a sticker of. You said you still had some of that's random,
Skinny dips and
you know.
bone ribs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Or
that
rips. So
one is
yeah, yeah,
classic.
that's
Yeah,
a good one.
skinny dips and bone rips, dude. Skinny dips and bone rips, dude. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that one was so fun because I was remembered like being on set, and they, you know, this is season one, and John, Josh, and Hayden was like, they kind of started letting me just do whatever I wanted with the character, and whenever the, you know, writers and directors trust you that much as the actor, it's so empowering. And And yeah, I remember just delivering that line and it hit, and they were just like, keep saying that. It wasn't even, it was an improv line. It wasn't on the script. I really didn't have any lines in that moment. Um, and yeah, so getting to implement something like that, and it being adopted and kind of become a part of the character is it was really cool as well, man. So yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many great ones there. I think one thing I will actually ask before we wrap this up is, like, have you actually ever done any martial arts? Because you were saying about wrestling and stuff. Like, did you do a lot of that, like prior to
Yeah,
the show or over the years?
dude. Yeah, totally. I've done it. I've done martial arts most of my life. I started doing karate when I was like 7 or 8, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and did that in for 3 or 4 years. Got really busy acting, and kind of got into skateboarding, and just kind of shifted gears. But I got back into it in like my mid-teens, and was doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, grappling, like the whole nine, and was training at a gym for a few years, and then
Wow.
and ended up homies pulling up, ended up ended up like actually breaking my leg though training, and so I was like took some time off and got some more acting work, and didn't really go back to the jiu-jitsu part, but I've always kickboxed, and done that kind of just as exercise. So yeah, man, I
Oh,
love
that's
martial
awesome,
arts.
dude. Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I'm
it's
glad you
super
got to
sick.
have like that moment in season 6 then, to do a
Yeah,
little
for
bit of
sure.
something there.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
you
it was
must have been
awesome.
egging to do something like that. I mean, especially you
Yeah,
being
right.
martial artist and everything. Bo, it's been such a pleasure to bring you back on here. I absolutely love what they've done with Brucks. I mean, this
Thank
is the
you.
final season, so this is the last we see of the character. I mean, thanks for bringing a flavor to Brucks and also giving us these really, cool moments and lines in the show. And all the I see all the fan love in the stream, and people just are really happy with what they've done with your character. So, yeah, again, thank you for your time, man. And if you want to just say anything to the fans for the support over the years of Cobra Kai.
Dude, yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thanks to everyone in the chat. I mean, shout out for just being here on the random live in the middle of a Friday wherever you are in the world. That's really really special to be connected with you guys right now. And then ultimately, yeah, thanks for watching and making it number one on Netflix. I mean, it is truly something special. I mean, we don't go into this expecting just for the show to be watched. We work really hard on it. And we hope it's worth your time, uh, you know, watching it, and we're really thankful that it's become a part of your life, and that you want to share it with your friends and family, and it's something that you can find enjoyment in consuming in the wide realm of content out there. So yeah, truly thank you guys, and I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Awesome. Guys, we are signing off. Thank you for joining us today. Bo, thank you for your time. It's been such a blast talking to you again. Hope you all have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe for more interviews, live content, all on Cobra Kai Season 6. Me and Bo are going to sign off. Bo, do you want to sign off with your big line from Season 6?
For sure, for sure. Thank you guys for watching. Get Bruxed.
Let's go.